Hello and welcome to another Wildflower Talks, weight loss and more. So excited for this evening. I am taking it back with my gorgeous Gem. Me and Gem will discuss our relationship, but there is so much to cover from a dieting perspective, from maintenance, talking about surgery. Feel like tonight's going to be a really good one. You'll have to excuse me in my loungewear. I haven't got any makeup on. Edinburgh prep is in full force, kids, so fresh faced and ready for this live. So I'm just going to bring Gem in now. So long. We talk about it all the time. Oh, thanks, Katie. There she
Hello,
is.
you alright?
Hello, yes, let me see if I can. Oh, 1 minute, that's my bedroom. See if I can make this a bit taller. I've got a new tripod, but I haven't quite got to grips with it yet.
That's it.
There we go,
You in the
You
middle?
okay?
Yeah, good. How are you? Oh, I've been so
Yeah, not
excited to
bad.
see you, Rach. I miss you.
Oh, I know, I was just saying, like, we haven't done a live. Considering how much we speak, the fact we've not got more lives together is
I know,
ridiculous.
I know. It's bad, isn't it,
It
really?
is.
But you're so busy. You've got to have different people on every week. Do you know what I mean? We can't just chat every week.
Easily could though.
We
That's
could.
the thing.
It's true.
We could just have the Rach and Gemma
We
show.
could.
But obviously tonight is going to be a really nice live because I think we're going to talk about a side of the plan that maybe doesn't get discussed as much and probably
Yeah.
should be discussed more,
Yeah.
and that is the steps and maintenance. And I think there's a lot of people that are quite nervous about that portion of the plan and kind of don't want to know about it. And actually, I think it's important that you know that that part of the plan is there
Yeah.
from the beginning, because you have to accept that you're going to have to do that bit as well. But before we get into all things maintenance, Gem, obviously this will be on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who are new and haven't heard your story before, do you want to just take us back and give us like a roundup of Gemma Renwick and her one-to-one journey?
Okay, so going back to the day that I decided to join the plan myself, which was back in 2013. I started plan on the 1st of January, hungover from New Year's Eve, but I'd already seen Debbie the week
I love
before, and I
that.
was like, I want to start on the 1st. Like, I'm a new year, new me kind of girl. And I just thought, you know what, I really need to lose this baby weight. My little boy was a year at that point, and I couldn't really use it as an excuse anymore that, I was carrying a bit of baby weight. So I just decided to try something new. I tried every diet under the sun. I'd been to every slimming group. I'd been to every online slimming thing that I could find. I tried it all, and it was all just too slow, and I didn't stick to anything because I got bored quite quickly. And I'd heard that the Cambridge diet back then was pretty fast. So I was like, well, I'll give it a go. I'll try something new. I was a bit nervous. I said to Debbie, like, I don't think I can live on just shakes. What everybody says, I'm going to be starving.
Yeah.
She was like, you won't be starving. You'll be fine. Your hunger will be suppressed. And I was just like, what is this? Like, I've never heard of anything like this before. So I said to her, I'll give it my all. She said to me, by day 5, you'll feel much better. So I did step 2. The reason I did step 2 was because I had Finley, who was a year. He was eating, obviously, with us at that point, and I didn't want to just have meal replacements. I wanted to have a sit-down meal with him, and I didn't really fancy the savoury product. So I thought, instead of the 4th product, I'll just have a chicken stir-fry or omelette or something. So I did step 2 for 10 weeks and lost 3 stone. And I was just like, oh my God,
Smashed it.
this is amazing. But I make it sound easy. Obviously, there were hard days. It was really hard, but I did not cheat once. It was literally 100% step 2, 3 to 4 litres of water a day. No proper exercise, just walking, really. Lots of walking, obviously, with the pram. And I tried,
I know, I just gave myself.
I was like, oh, what's that?
I was trying to get something off the screen.
Oh, I wonder if
Do you know when
anyone
you've got save? Do you know when you've got save filters? So I've got save filters from this poignant story of Gemma's weight loss, and there's me with.
Oh, shall I say anything? Yeah.
So
Anyway.
professional, so professional.
I wonder if anyone else saw it.
I think everyone saw it, but we're all going to act like nothing happened.
Yeah. And the podcast, people will be like, what are they talking about? Okay, so where was I? I don't know where I got to. Walking with the
James
princess.
just put Christmas question mark.
Oh, I love Christmas.
Oh, yeah. So you did obviously step 2 with Finn, which a lot of mums do choose to do when they've got babies that are, well, toddlers that are weaning or younger children, where they want to kind of have that evening meal with them. And step 2 really does give you that flexibility in that you can have that evening meal. What do you think? A couple of people did ask me questions actually about step 2. I made no secret when I was on plan that I didn't like step 2.
Yeah.
I found it was quite difficult for me. That first week I stepped up, I'm sure you'll remember, I had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, you're like, I can't do it. I was like, it's fine, it's easy. Let's just go.
Hated it.
Make it simple.
But you really love step 2. You know, it's a step that if anyone ever like wants to go on, I always refer back to you and the meals that you came up with. Was that something that you had done before plan? Were you quite like a like in the kitchen type of person before? Did you enjoy cooking, or was it something that you developed whilst you were on plan? Did you kind of use the step to develop that skill?
I did. I do like cooking. I've always quite enjoyed being in the kitchen. I've always cooked relatively healthy meals, I guess, from scratch. I just used to eat too much and too many snacks in between, basically. But I didn't want to do sole sauce. You know, that was a choice. Debbie said, you know, you can do, I could have done 1A if I wanted to, but I just didn't want to. I thought, no, if I, you know, 800 I already thought 800 calories was too low. You know, I'm never going to be able to survive on that. So I have to eat something. You know, you probably hear that a lot from new slimmers. And actually, I just wanted to eat something. So I chose to have that one meal a day. And I really enjoyed it. It, you know, it was hard to start with to have such a small portion, you know, 170 grams
That's what
of
I
chicken.
struggled with.
Yeah, it was small. And I was a bit like, oh, and I do prefer now, actually, my slimmers starting on 1B if they can, just because after a couple of weeks, when I change them to step 2, if I feel like they should, they really appreciate that little meal because it's not a shock.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go from eating probably 3, 4, 5,000 calories a day to suddenly this tiny little bit of chicken and veg, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be starving. But I soon realised actually everything she said was right. Day 5, I woke up and I did feel quite rough, I have to say. Between days 2 and 4, I did get a really bad headache. I felt quite, not poorly, but I just felt really weak and hungry.
Oh, I felt awful.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. But Debbie said to me, you have to get past that. You have to push and then you'll be fine. And you do. And then you're like, oh, what is this? I've got energy. And it's lovely.
100%. Like people when they text me on like day 4, day 5, and they're like, I've got a headache. I feel like saying like, girl, day 4 or day 5, I can't remember exactly which one it was. I didn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
Like I stayed in bed that day, and I always think like if you were poorly, if you had something wrong with you, you would take it easy for that day. You would use it as an excuse to just lounge in front of the TV. Use this as an excuse to lounge in front of the TV.
Yeah.
You know, Jamie, the poor boy was slathering over his pillow, dreaming of wine guns.
Yeah.
Like it is hard.
It is.
Those first couple of days are hard, but the reason they are hard is because you've absolutely bombarded your system with sugar and stuff that's not great for you beforehand.
Yeah.
And your body is having to use that up before it can even start attacking your fat. And it isn't the best feeling in the world. But what are your top tips for getting through that? Because obviously a lot of people may actually be starting plan now that instead of, you know, January. Sometimes people leave January, get rid of all the Christmas stuff, finish up everything, and then February is actually their fresh start. What's your top tips to getting through that first week?
Basically, don't do too much. You just have to get through it without pushing your body too far, really. I spaced out my products as evenly as I could. I didn't have them together, so I'd have one for breakfast, and then I'd have one at lunchtime, one late afternoon, and one evening, or not one evening. I'd have my dinner, and then I'd have my I think I had bars. I can't even remember now. It's such a long time ago. I think I used to have a bar in the evening with a cup of tea. But water is so important because you need that to get through. You need that to feel okay, basically, on plan. And just distract yourself if you can. I mean, I was so busy with Finney, he was only little, so I just, I got through it, had a bath, went to bed. I think I went to bed at like 8 o'clock the first week, like every night.
Yeah, same.
Because you just, like you say, if you're poorly, you go to bed at 8, don't you, or 7? You literally just go to bed because you feel so, you do feel like you just run down, don't you? At the beginning, you just get that feeling of just feeling a bit rough and just tired.
You feel a bit hungover, and I find it funny that people can very easily cope with a hangover if they've been able to go out on the lash, but really struggle to deal with very similar symptoms whenever the benefits are going to be so huge. I always think it's very much mentality. Like I happily accept feeling rubbish if I can go on a night out. Happily accept feeling rubbish so that you can feel amazing a couple of days later.
Yeah.
That's how I had to look at it.
Yeah.
I was like, it will end.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the trouble is people are so used to, anyone with a food problem is so used to just helping that situation with whatever food they want, because they think, well, you know, I feel rough, I'm hungover, I'm going to eat everything and then go to bed, because that's just what you've always done. Like, you know, the amount of times I've heard someone say, I just feel a bit tired, I need to eat. I'm like, you don't need to eat. You think you do because that's what you've always done. But since when did like a massive dinner make you feel better when you've got a really bad cold or you're really ill? It doesn't really make you feel any better. You just think it does. So
always say the NHS don't prescribe Dominoes for a reason. Really, it is not a medically recognised like medication.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't fix anything. It momentarily puts a band-aid over something you're going to have to face it now, or face it in a week, or face it in a month. Like, you're going to have to face it at some point, so and choose when you face it.
And I just remember thinking, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do this? Because it's going to be hard on day 4 next time, so I might as well just get through it and get to day 5.
And I remember saying to you, I was like, it's hard. It is really, really hard, but I do not want to do it again. I've already done 2 hours now of feeling like rubbish. But if I come off now, Sam says this a lot, doesn't she? She's like, if I stop now, then I have to add that time on to the end. I just have to, it's always going to get added. It's always time owed. You don't suddenly unowe it. Like,
do you know what?
You have to.
My husband said that. I don't know if people on here know, he runs like ridiculous amounts of miles. He does like 100-miler.
Me and Jim are very similar.
Yeah, me
in
too. I just don't tell anyone about it. But he got to 90 miles. Like, he was crying, literally crying his eyes out. Couldn't do it. Thought he was going to die. And they were like, mate, if you give up now, you're going to feel like you have to do this again, and you'll have to do all that 90 again. Do you not just want to do the next 10 and get it done? And he was like, oh, okay. And it was just that, you know, why would you want to redo that? You've done all the hard work, just get the last bit done. And it's so true. It's all mindset, isn't it? You do have to get through on mindset, basically. It's what you choose to do in that situation.
And that's why I always say that why has to be so strong. Like, and it needs to be so strong that sometimes it's uncomfortable for you to admit that's why you're doing it. And I know with mine, I really had to look myself in the mirror and be like, Rachel, this is why you need to do this. Like, it's not comfortable to say it. It's not easy to accept that you're in the place that you're in now. But if I keep denying where I am, I'm never going to find the will to fix the problem that there is. It's the same as when people are in like a large amount of debt. You have to face up to the position that you're in before you can start fixing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes facing up to it that's hard, and people aren't always in the right place to do that. If it was easy, we'd never have problems in the first place.
Exactly.
Rachel's just said, any bride-to-be stories out there? Your story was actually a bride-to-be story.
It was. Well, yeah, that's so I had the baby weight, but we were getting married in the August, so it was January the 1st. I was like, okay, I've got time. I didn't think I'd do it as quick as I did. I know, like they say, an average of stone a month. I didn't really believe it, if I'm honest. I just thought, well, I'll give it my best shot. And literally by March, I was 3 stone lighter, moved up the steps, and I did the steps properly. So we did a couple of weeks on each step to see if my body would stabilise. And I went through each step, like I've said to you, you know, you have to wait on that step until your body loses again. And it does take a couple of weeks. You know, if you move up suddenly from 800 to 1,000, your body's not just going to drop loads of weight. So it took me a little while. It was a bit of a process moving up the steps, but I still lost about 4 pounds as I moved up. So I ended up going under my goal weight, to be honest. And looking back, I think, I probably did go a little bit. My face goes quite like gaunt because I just kept going because I was a bit like, oh, this is amazing. But I wish my
hips could go a bit gaunt, but it's not my hips that go, it is my face.
My belly never went gaunt either, but you know, that was the but I was at that point where I was like, I cannot, just because you get all your friends, oh, you need to stop, like your face looks really skinny, and I was like, I know, but if I just suddenly eat loads now, I'm just defeating the whole point. So I need to do it properly. And I did find, actually, once I'd maintained for a good sort of, I'd say about 2 months probably, my face started sort of, what's the word, like going a bit more back to normal, like it filled out a little bit.
Your shape changes so much. Like, I've noticed that. Like, people say to me now, like, you look really different again. Like, have you lost more weight? And I'm like, No, I haven't lost
No,
any more.
everything
I've been
changes.
exactly the same weight since October, but
Yeah,
my body shape is starting to change. And I remember you and Jeremy saying that to me. You're both like, just give it
it does take
time
time.
and the
Yeah.
loose fits start getting a bit tighter. I mean, say that very loosely with my
Yeah.
body.
But
But
like you
you
say, yeah,
do,
there's elasticity there. But if you've got bad elasticity, or you've got, very thin skin, that it's not going to bounce back. But there is,
no.
over that first year of maintenance, it does definitely tighten. And I'd only lost 3 stones, so I didn't have loads of. I wouldn't say I had loads of excess skin. Really, everything was just very squidgy and soft. Like, I remember thinking, oh, even my
Yeah.
chest feels a bit soft. Like, it's just really
It
weird.
feels like after you have a baby,
That's it.
after you've
The
had a baby in your
jelly belly.
belly, yeah, you get
Exactly
that,
what it
and
feels
that, but
like.
you just feel like that
Yeah, I was like,
everywhere.
oh god, my arms, like everything's flappy. But it didn't look bad. It just, I felt it, and literally within sort of 3 months, 4 months, it started changing. And yeah, I
Yeah.
wore my tiny little wedding dress, and I felt amazing. And literally, that's when,
Oh,
I mean, I decided to become a consultant in between then. So when I'd got to my goal, I was like, this is just the most amazing thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And most diets, you hear people call them fads and all of that, and oh, you put it all back on. I was
mm,
like, no, but I don't think I will with this, because I've worked my way back up and I'm eating normally. Like, I was so scared to go to my wedding and not be able to eat the 3-course meal and cake, and I thought I was going to feel really ill, basically, because I hadn't really eaten for
mm.
so long. So I was very adamant that I wanted to work up and get to a normal amount of calories. That's just what I really wanted to do. And that's what I did, basically. And I decided to become a consultant because about 5 of my friends were like, right, this is amazing. I can't believe you're actually eating again. Like, what is this diet? I need to know about it. So I joined and helped all my friends, basically. And then their
It's
friends came,
amazing,
and
isn't
then,
it?
yeah, it is.
I always say to people, I think why this plan I think is set apart from everything else on the market, if you like, and I've done my fair share of diets, is I know very few diets out there, and there will be some. I'm not saying there isn't any, but I just mean I've not come across many where there has been such an emphasis on, once you've lost the weight, let's stabilize your weight and let's get you into a life of maintenance. Like, that is such a big part of this plan. The diet in itself doesn't want you to be on this cycle continuously. It's like, no, it's set out in a way to make you succeed into maintenance life. And
Yeah.
I did it quite similarly to you, and different in that I stepped up in August. So I'd lost 7.5 stone, stepped up in the August to step 3 because I was starting the couch 5K. And my losses actually kind of stopped on
Yeah.
step 1B. My body had just got, like, it just wasn't giving any more to us
Yeah.
on that step. So I stepped up to step 3. I actually lost 4 pounds in my first week on step 3.
And that happens a lot. I've had that happen to so many people, where when they've got a lot to lose and they kind of plateau, exactly what happened to you. Step up and your
It
body's
just
like,
shot.
yes, I needed that. Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And then
Yeah.
I went up to step 3 for a month, and then I did step 4 for a couple of weeks. I kind of sat in step 4 for a little bit, and then what I decided to do was, in essence, reverse diet out of it, which is what the steps are. It's just the snazzy word for all steps is reverse dieting.
Exactly.
And I did it in a way that I just added 50 calories every week to what I was eating. Like, such a small amount, like really insignificant.
But so controlled, though,
but
Rachel.
then
That's so controlled. Not many people do that.
See, but I was like, I can't do that again. And I also, when I looked at my BMR, I was like, if you think I'm eating 1,400 calories for the rest of my life, you're off your head.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah,
I need to do something to get food back in my life. So I did that 50 calories a week, probably not even really measuring it some weeks, but I just had a little bit extra. And then now I'm very similar to you, 16 to 1,800 calories a day.
I still get
gym 4 times a week.
Like, consultants saying, how do you eat 16 to 1,800? That's loads. I'm like,
I get so many.
I had
so
clients
many
today talk about your videos. They're like, I can't believe how much she eats. And I'm like, but it's not loads. If you actually think
my
about
thighs, yeah. Can we not food shame me, please?
But they're shocked, because they're like, I want that to be me. Like, how is she getting to eat so much and be so slim? I'm like, because she's counting everything and she's going to the gym 4 times a week. You're so in control of what's going in, and you can get a lot for your calories if you
can
choose wisely.
And you don't have to, like, I really envy people like Georgie.
Me too.
I know
her food
and can cook.
Wow.
It's lovely. It's incredible, but that was never me. And I think I wanted to show that you can be an hopeless cook. You can be someone that's so overwhelmed with food and you can still maintain your weight afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, I had someone say leave me a comment the other day saying that your diet's really processed, that's going to lead to obesity. No, it's not. That isn't going to lead me to obesity at all, because it doesn't matter. In essence, it doesn't matter what I eat. It's just that what I'm eating is controlled, and you know, I'm getting a balanced diet, and I can get that whether I do it from scratch or I choose to, you know, pay over the odds potentially for some broccoli. That means I can bung it in the microwave.
You've got to remember, you're a busy girl. Do you know what I mean? You're seeing hundreds of slimmers a week. You're working your absolute arse off. You haven't got time to cook gourmet meals. But
well, no,
you
this
could
is
use
it.
that as an excuse and think, well, I'll just get a Domino's every night, because that's what people do. You know, lazy cooks tend to eat crap, but you're choosing
to that was still, me.
But you're not doing that anymore.
Exactly, and that's the difference. Before, I used it as an excuse, and we would spend 3 times what we spend now on food because I'd be buying all the crap. Whereas now, I've just changed the foods that I pick, and I calorie count, and I've modified my portions so that I can have that convenience and fit in my size 10
that's
jeans.
you. That's you and your lifestyle. That fits with you. And I just think people have such an opinion, don't they, online? That's why I don't share too much, because I just think, well, this is how I eat, you know. But I am going to do one of your videos.
You have to. I think bugger them.
All right, I'll do
they
it.
can tell me I'm going to put the weight back on, and I'll just come back in 12 months and
just
show
use that.
them.
Use that. Well, all my friends told me I put it all back on, so I'm like, okay.
This is it. Like that, you use that as motivation. It's the same way when people were I was on plan, and they'd be like, oh, it won't work.
Oh yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's dangerous. I'm like, it's not. And then literally 2 months later, they're like, you look the best you've ever looked. Like your skin and your hair. I'm like, exactly.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's that
diet you said you hated. But it's everyone. You know, my slimmers get it all the time, and it always turns around in the end. You just have to prove them wrong, basically, and use it as your motivation. That's what I did.
100%. And I always say, let your results speak.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't really say very much about it to people in my social circle. And then just all of a sudden they'd be like, God, you're looking different. Like, what are you doing? And then it's in the Daily Mail and everyone knows what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I don't think anyone doesn't know.
So we did get a couple of questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to pop them up because I think I can pop them through here.
Okay.
So we got one question which says, what was your favourite meal to make on step 2? Really need some step 2 inspo.
Oh, okay. So back in the day, my step 2 meals were very simple. So chicken with stir-fried veg, basically. I had that a lot. Or I had like mushroom and pepper omelettes. I used to be obsessed with like the 7 Thai spice flavouring, which was quite spicy. But everything I had that on it because it just gave it so much flavour. Otherwise, I just found it a bit bland, because you obviously can't really have sauces. And back then we couldn't really have any sauces. Whereas now
I use I like the golden veg on things. So I would cook my mushrooms in golden veg with a little bit. You told me a little bit of water instead of oil.
Yeah,
and then cook it off like that.
Whenever you're cooking in like a saucepan, never use oil. So many people say, oh, just use fry light. I'm like, you don't need to on step 2 because it's added calories. So actually just put your spices and a little bit of boiling water or your golden veg in a pan, let it bubble away, it's just to stop it from going dry, basically. Put all your meat and veg in, let it cook, and if it ever dissolves or if it evaporates, put more boiling water in, and it cooks your food perfectly, and it's never dry.
So nice.
I used to have fish.
That was a game changer for me.
Yeah. Tuna, like I used to have tuna a lot with like cottage cheese for like salads and stuff like that. The tuna patties, they're really nice. There's a recipe on my page for that. They are lovely, actually. They're like little tuna burgers type thing. They're really nice. You can have like mince in lettuce wraps. I used to have that quite a lot.
I did do that with corn mince. That was a little nice one.
Yeah.
And I used to get the because you can't, obviously being veggie, it is harder, I think, being veggie on step 2, but it isn't impossible. And what I did is I found these steak strips, and I went away, was a geek, and looked at macro per macro to see if I could fit them in step 2. And they just about fit in there, slightly higher in carbs, but for a one-off I was like, it was fine. And I would do like fajitas in little lettuce bowls and things like that. But I think when you go from 1B on to step 2, you find that a little bit exciting. Now I ain't got time for that. Now I would just let someone else cook it for me.
Yeah, but that's true. That's what I was like.
Someone else had asked, how long does it take to really notice a weight loss? I always say when you get to that halfway point to your goal, I think that is when you really notice it. So whether you've got 10 stone to lose or 2 stone to lose, that halfway mark, I think, is where you really start seeing the differences.
I think people expect it now. When I lose my first stone, I'm going to feel like a different person. But if you've got 10 stone to lose, you're probably not going to feel that different after 1 stone. But like you say, if you've got 2 stone to lose, 1 stone is going to make a huge difference. So it is different, isn't it, for everyone? But I agree, about halfway through. And then you think, I can bloody do this. I've done half. I've only got to do the other half. You do get to that little moment, don't you, in your journey, wherever it is, and you're just like, I actually think I'm going to do it now.
And someone mentioned that to me the other day. They were like, I went back and watched your video, your weekly weigh-in, where you hit your 5 stone, and you got really emotional about it. And I was like, but that was the moment I actually believed I could do it. Until then, I'd been telling myself I could. Didn't believe it in the slightest, but I was like, I'm going to just manifest this into the universe.
You were so good at that, though. You were so good at manifesting it. I just knew you were going to do it. And that's very rare to meet someone where you're so confident from day one. I was like, she's 100%. I even, in our heads, I was like, she's going to be Woman of the Year. I could see it. Like, you just were so good. Everything about you, I was like, she's got it.
Somebody has, I know, look at me now, talking all this on the Instagram
I gave my dad one of the One magazines today. I was like, here you go. He was like, oh, it's Rachel, the Welsh one. I was like, yeah, that's right.
I love him.
He's taking it home so Liz can have a little read as well.
Oh, I love that.
So cute.
Somebody else has said, what was your favourite product out of them all? Now it is a fruit and nut bar. I've got an actual issue with them.
They're really, I've not had a product like that from the one-to-one before. Not as much.
No.
Not like to try it for the very first time and love it so much. Normally things like grow on me a little bit, but yeah, I agree.
I'm the same.
Amazing.
But that I need Medic Paul in GHQ to like set a support group up. I have
limited myself. I'm like, you're not allowed more than one. You can only have one in the afternoon with your cup of tea. That's it. Because otherwise, I'd probably have 5 a day.
I've bought an extra box in my stock order just for me and Jamie, just in case anything happens. I'm like, just have it there.
My vanilla shake with my coffee is my first. That will always be my pride and joy. I love it. And I have that every day. But then, that
got me through. And because it will be asked 50 million times, you just need 100 to 200 ml of cold water, shot of coffee, fill it up to 600 ml with boiling water, put your shake in, bang it in the blender, get the lid off quickly as possible. Because the first time I did it,
I remember I was like,
I didn't get the lid off.
I saw you make it and you were like, no, I'm just going to leave that. I was like, no, don't leave it.
Like, open it now.
Yeah.
Went everywhere. Went absolutely everywhere. Somebody else has said, how many weeks do you do on each step as you work up to maintenance? So again, we said it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
Like I would say, like for me, it's been like a continuous thing over a while. I think it really depends as well on what you want your lifestyle to be. If you want to have a more sedentary lifestyle, then you're not going to have as many calories per day. So it's not going to be as long a process. Whereas if you're incorporating exercise, then it becomes a longer process naturally, because as your fitness increases and you do more, your calories will need to increase to match that. So yeah, there's no, for me, again, there is no finish line with this.
No, and
it is just continuous.
Yeah, it is. And people do think that it ends, don't they? And at their goal, and you're the perfect example, because you're still blogging and still showing exactly that, your new journey. This is a completely new journey now, and it's lifelong. So you can't, I think people just assume that they'll just be able to eat normally again, which is how they used to eat. And actually, you need to find a new normal now, and it's different for each person. And I'm the same as you, like that process of moving up the steps is very individual to each person. And we know as consultants, some people don't want to stay on it for a certain amount of time. So they're like, no, I'm ready to move up now. I want to, I can't stick to it. So you have to adapt it for that person. You can't, one size doesn't fit all, basically.
And that goes as well. I get a lot of questions from people who say, okay, I'm on step 3, step 4. So how do I work at the steps? And similarly to how I did it, that is normally what I incorporate a bit more with those type of slimmers, where I just increase your calories a bit more slower over a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Kind of make like step 3.5, 4.5, 5.5 to get you up there, just because they're isn't going to be as big a gap, so we need to kind of stretch it out just to stabilize it, just so your body has a chance to catch up with what you're doing. Like we said, if you rush it, you will put weight on.
Yeah,
if I'd gone from eating 1,300 calories a day to 1,800 calories a day, I would have put weight on.
But people might see that now,
slowly.
that you've gone from losing all this weight to suddenly eating 1,800 calories. It's like, oh, how's she not gaining all her weight? She's going to gain it all. It's like, no, there's been a long period of time between that and all the exercise you've introduced as well. So
I know, I'm literally a fitness freak now.
Every morning I'm like, wow. I'm sat over my cup of tea.
Yeah, I had to though. Like there was a couple of things, like I had to come up with a way to relieve my stress. A big exercise was never about weight loss for me.
Yeah.
It was always that I needed something to replace that crutch that I found in food. And let me be very clear, I hated with a passion those fitness people on Instagram that would be like, go to the gym, it'll make you feel better, it'll give you endorphins. It's like, piss off, Deirdre. It hurts me to walk up the stairs at the minute.
Yeah.
But when you have lost the weight and your body isn't under so much strain and pressure, and you're a bit more emotionally at peace with food and your body and all of that, actually exercise has done wonders for my mental health. And I, you'll know, but I don't put everything on Instagram. I think things can look very rosy, but we've had a really difficult couple of months, and had it not been for the gym and exercise and having that outlet, I think actually those food habits probably would have come back in. So for me, it was always that I needed something else to balance out what I used to use food for. But some people, that they go into arts and crafts, they go into like I've had amateur dramatics, I've had people go into like make it, like I say, crafty things. You just need to find your thing, don't you, that helps you relieve stress that isn't eating.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard, I'm trying to think what my thing is. Probably just trying to build the business.
I can tell you what your thing is.
What is mine?
Shopping.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
Makeup, shopping, and spa days is what Gemma read it.
Yes, spa days. So
See?
True. So true.
This is it. One of my swimmers broke just sense. I once heard an influencer say, I exercise for my head, my arse comes along for the ride. And I think that's so true.
Yeah.
It really is. So true. So we've got another question here, which says, have you found maintaining easy? And obviously you've been maintaining for how many years now? Is it 8 years?
It'd be 9 in June.
9?
In June, yeah, 9 in June. No, well, actually, no, March. No, I am. Yeah, 9 years, basically, next month. So, yeah.
That is mad.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe how, quickly that's actually gone. It's crazy. It's definitely not easy. Like, I have fluctuated up and down a stone. I'm very honest about it on my page. I've never put 3 stone back on, but I have put 1 on and I've lost it, put 1 on, lost it. Like, it's usually after holidays, if I'm honest, holidays, and then going a bit downhill afterwards. Or just like life, like when you get really busy, you just kind of lose your way a little bit. And I found lockdown was probably the one time that I really did lose my way more than I ever have before. And that was just sort of like fear of, like, obviously all my job changed, everything changed with this business, and I was just like, oh my god, that's it, my whole life is gonna be over. Like, none of my slimmers are going to want to come back to me, like they're not going to want to be virtual, all of that. So, and I just kind of carried on like everybody else was, and went in the garden and sunbathed and had a gin and tonic, basically. But when that happened every day, it was like, oh, hang on a minute, I said to Jim, this can go one way or the other. Like, we were both bad, and he's never bad. Like, do you know what I mean? He's so
I remember you saying, you were like, even Jim is like getting to a place where he's like drinking and eating a bit too much and not going out and exercising. And that was so against his character.
Yeah, and his
it just goes to show
went down, because our routine, we both kind of went down a little bit, but we didn't see it at the time. We thought we were having the best time ever. We were like, oh, we've got to take advantage of this. We're never together like this in the week. Let's have fun. We'll have some food in the garden and have the kids together. Like, it was lovely, and we had some really nice memories. But it soon becomes not fun anymore when you start gaining weight and you actually feel it, and you start feeling really tired and just low. So I was just like, oh no, we need to nip this in the bud. So I was like, Couch to 5k, quick, I'm going to be that one on Instagram to talk about Couch to 5k. But it helped, and I lost all the weight, and I got back on plan and just did it. But yeah, maintaining it's not easy. It's a lifelong thing that you just have to battle with forever, basically. For me, this devil on your shoulder, like we were talking earlier, it's the time of the month at the moment. Today's a really bad,
for both of us.
Yeah,
all synced up.
We just sync now, but today's been a bad day for symptoms. And the devil's like, just eat, it's only one day, like you won't put on loads of weight from one day, like literally it does it in your head and you're like, shut up, I've said I'm not doing it. So I still fight with that, and I battle with that every night really, because my evenings were always the worst. That's when I would snack on extras that I know I don't need. I still fight with my little brain, but you just have to make a choice. I think the pressure of my job and, you know, the presence on here and obviously maintaining is the one thing that I'm really, really passionate about and proud of. So I can't.
I'm known for.
Yeah,
people
I can't
know
put my weight
you
back
for
on.
maintaining.
Yeah,
so
you
can.
I've got it in my head. It's like, no, don't be ridiculous. You've got to put your outfit on next
I
week.
feel like that as well. I'm like, you're one of Gemma's slimmers. You can't put your weight back.
But that's what I want. I want our army to be like those people that maintain, because that is the hardest bit. We all know that, but we all know we can do it. So it's a choice.
Yeah,
it is a choice.
And I think I'm more passionate now about that than I ever was about losing weight. And
Same
it's like
me.
that. Like I always say to people, like, yeah, losing weight was great, but and I was on it for that journey. And I look back and I always say to you now, like, enjoy that journey, like enjoy that process, because you know what? When it's done, we don't want you to do it again. And actually, there's so many amazing things in that. Like, there's so many moments to treasure on that weight loss journey. So many moments of pride and celebrating your successes that you don't get in maintenance. You know, you don't get those big losses on the scales. You don't get those try-ons. You don't get those before and after pictures that, you know, they do fill you with a lot of well, me certainly a lot of pride, and like I felt very successful. Not because people were telling me I was doing well, just in myself I was like, well done, you're doing really well. And when you're in maintenance, you have to find other things to get that success in, which is why I was talking this morning about obviously looking at the gym and looking at other metrics like, you know, your body fat, building muscle, and how long you've maintained for. So like I'm now finding every month I'm using that as a moment to be like, well, you've maintained for another month. That is amazing. I think I've ever maintained my weight for a day before.
Yeah, I know. And that is going to be a big thing, because in a year's time you can say you've maintained for a year, and that's another goal. Maintaining is a huge goal.
If I don't have a magnet for a year's maintenance, I will be fuming.
But it's true though, isn't it? That is a massive achievement, because it doesn't happen very often. And I'm the same, because
I've decided I'm going to do it. I'm doing maintenance award for slimmers.
100%. That's such a good idea. Such a good idea,
because I think you need that to really keep you going, and do it like you're not gonna like do it for like 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, and then
you know they do the maintainer award at the Slimmer Awards. Obviously I don't know if they'd let you win that one as well, but we could always try. I'm like, come on, she's been maintaining like 5 years now.
I think you have to not be a consultant. I think it's just for slimmers. But it is, you know, they recognise that, because it is an amazing thing. Such an amazing thing. So we got another question here which says, maintenance, what is your advice for food situations outside of your own kitchen? So if you're out for friends, or maybe you go on holiday, you go out on a weekend, what are your tips for that?
So I try to eat differently to how I used to. So if I went to, say, an Italian before, I would have always had a pizza, always would have had pasta, garlic bread, like just eating loads. That's just how because I just saw it as, oh, well, I'm out, so I'm allowed as much as I want because it's a treat. So now I always pick a healthy option, always. Even if it's not what I want at the time, I will always look to the chicken or the fish section, and I think, right, that's not too bad. That says it's 600 calories. I'm going to have that. And if I have alcohol, I might just have 1 glass of Prosecco, because obviously it's a bit higher, and then I might have vodka and Diet Coke, because I'm just very aware of the calories. I can't bring myself to eat masses of calories, because I know that they're in it. Like, I can't ignore it. Do you know what I mean?
I get a bit pissed off with calories, if I'm honest now, because I look at it and I think, you're not worth it.
Yeah, they're not
like,
worth it.
I was speaking to one of my slimmers earlier on about McDonald's new chicken Big Mac burger meal thing, and I was like, I love a McChicken sandwich, I'll be honest with you all, but when I looked at how many calories were in it, I was like, you are taking the piss. It is not worth that many calories. Like,
you know, you'll be starving.
And I'm like, I work too damn hard every day for something like that. Like, if I go out to eat now, it has to be something special for me to really go off and indulge in something. Because I'm like I say, I work too hard to almost waste my calories on something. And I'm very honest with that with my friends. Like, I'll be like, do you think I just got given this body? Like, no, I actually worked my bum off for it for like 10 months. So
I'm not about to give in to you wanting me to eat something to make you feel better at this dining table. I'm quite happy to sit here with my fish and salad or whatever. And enjoy that. And then, like you, I'll have a couple of drinks then as well. But I will normally, my biggest tip for eating out is I normally just bypass the carbs. So I'll have whatever I want on the menu, but if it comes with chips, you'll be surprised the amount of menus that actually where you're offered chips, you can ask for a side salad. It actually says on the menu,
you can,
or salad, but
you can ask for anything, can't you? But so
I will normally just bypass that and say, can I have it with a salad? Can I have it with veg? Can I just don't have the chips or the potatoes or what have you? Because I'm like, I'd rather have an extra glass of Prosecco than the chips.
I would as well. And
in maintenance, it's
after that.
And the thing is, in maintenance, it is one night out, and we are both big advocates of not having that binge and restrict cycle. We I know we say we're good Monday to Friday and we relax more at the weekend, but I actually don't think that is very true. I think we're actually just good 80% of the time, and then holidays or days out with the family, those are the occasions that we let the reins off a little bit more and don't maybe think as much about it, because I still think about my calories at the weekend.
And I thought that the other day. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, actually, I don't really relax. I might have a drink, but I don't really even drink at home, so actually I'm not as bad as what I was saying I was. Do you know what I mean? I feel you with that. I'm still very aware.
I save it for, so like obviously going away this weekend, I don't calorie count this weekend, not a chance.
You can't, you
Dad,
can't all the time.
No, because I'll enjoy that, but when I get back, I'll be straight back to how I normally eat. And I'll know that if I have put any weight on when I'm away, give it 2 or 3 weeks and that'll be gone and I'll be back to where I am now again.
And like you say, for an event, like me and Gemma are the same. We will not, after lockdown, we've said we're not drinking at home for no reason because it's just completely pointless, But if we're going to go out with friends or go to a party, we're going to have the best time. We're not like teetotal and we're never going to eat bad food again. But you've got to enjoy, it's got to be for a reason, because I just think you're at home 90% of your life. If you've got bad habits at home, you're screwed basically. So I think if you can keep your at home habits good,
that's so true,
when you're on your own or with your family, then you will be slim basically, because you're good 95% of the time.
100%. I can not agree anymore. This is why she's the queen of maintenance, guys.
You'll see me on my stories next week like, I'm a Prosecco.
Wait till you see the what I eat in the days next week, guys. They'll be interesting. So somebody said, do you ever forget you're a smaller person now and still feel like your old self?
Oh god,
all the time.
All the time. I feel fat and Jim's like, oh my god, you don't look fat. I'm like, you can't, it never goes, does it? It doesn't. No matter what size you are, it doesn't go, unfortunately.
I still get that feeling every time someone takes a picture and then I see it and I'm almost like, I'm like, oh, that's how I look now.
I
like
took
Jamie,
one of you said that, you were like, oh my god. I was like, Rachel, you're tiny. You were like, oh yeah.
I was like, oh, that's what I look like. It's like Jamie took a video the other day because Poppy's started walking herself out of the park. Any parent will know these little things in life that we just cherish. But she started walking herself out the park, and I took a video when I was pushing the pram, and I was like, I had my duvet coat on, and I thought in my duvet coat I just looked like a big sausage because it's a pink duvet coat. But I saw it and I was like, oh, I look like one of those girls that I wanted to look like exactly in the duvet coat.
And skinny women or slim women look really good in oversized big things, don't they? And I was like, I want to be like that.
I want to look like her on ASOS, and I'm like, actually, I don't look too bad.
You don't look bad at all. That jumpsuit, when you posted that, I was like, oh my god, I need to screenshot it now.
I did like that jump. I know, I died when you did that. You're such a proud mother.
I had to do it. I can't help it.
So somebody's asked, and it kind of leads us on to our next kind of topic I wanted to talk about, was were we worried when we lost weight about loose skin, and whether to worry now or wait until it's gone. So I think what they're saying is, do I worry about loose skin now when I'm starting to plan, or should I just wait and reevaluate it when I've lost it? And
they've already answered their own question there.
I know. You just don't worry about it until it happens. I think it's like worrying about a burning house before the house is on fire. You need to give yourself like there's a couple of points we've kind of touched on just to kind of bring it back to specifically about loose skin, and that is your body will change through maintenance. You need to give it time to change anyway. You know, loose skin that you have initially could firm up and tighten up as you get further into maintenance. Or you may have loose skin, but actually the loose skin in comparison to when you were overweight, well, for me, it is no comparison. I'd rather the skin. Or you might lose the weight, and as in your situation, then realize that you maybe have other medical issues happening, such as muscle separation, hernias in some instances that can make you feel as though you're bigger or have more loose skin than you actually have. And we're both very open, I think, about our experiences with loose skin and plastic surgery and wanting to change our bodies. Obviously, you have now got a Victoria's Secret belly.
Wow. Not quite.
It looks incredible. Wow, you paid enough for it. It does look good. And worked hard for it as well. You know, that came from a graft as well. It wasn't just like handed to you on a plate. So with your tummy tuck story, do you want to just kind of let everyone know what happened? Obviously, you're 8 weeks out now from surgery, but kind of what led up to that and how that process kind of played out for you.
So after I had Finley, obviously I put on quite a bit of weight, and then that's when I lost my weight. I didn't have an overhang after when I'd lost my weight. So my tummy was nothing to do with my weight loss, which I think a lot of people can't get their head around. They're like, well, that you know, will I have to have that when I've lost 3 stone? I'm like, no. I had 2 babies, and it separated my muscles so much they just never went back, unfortunately. So I had a pot belly. So I had a bit of a pot belly after Finley, nothing too bad. But then when I had Bethany, I carried really, really low with her. So like I didn't have any baby at the top. You know, when people say they can't breathe and it's like digging into their ribs.
Poppy was all at the top. I couldn't breathe for 9 months.
Yeah,
and then when she dropped, I literally woke up and I was like, yeah, I can breathe again.
Yeah, and I had good pregnancies because I didn't feel that uncomfortable because they were both so low. And I think my muscles the second time they just kind of collapsed basically. Yeah, and they were like, oh yeah, just let her out. And so I had a really big bump with her, and she wasn't even a big baby either. She was like 7 pounds. So it, you know, I had this massive bump, but it was all very low. And people used to always say, God, you're so low. And it's like, yeah, no, I'm only like 6 months. And they were like, oh,
she can't fall out.
Sure, you haven't got twins. I was like, no. So I just had a really bad muscle strength, I guess, core strength, I don't know. But afterwards I probably should have got into more exercise, but when you've got 2 kids and you've got a business to run, I just didn't have time and I didn't do it basically. And they just never went back. So I haven't been happy with my tummy for a long time, but I wouldn't say it was from weight loss. So it was after 2nd pregnancy. And it took me a little while. I've been researching for a long time. I was going to go abroad, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to go abroad. And so it was all it's been going on for a long time, basically. And
you were really nervous to share it with everyone, because I think everyone, whenever you kind of came out and spoke about it initially, his reaction was, oh my God, I never knew.
Yeah.
I never thought, I always thought
that you... Because I thought, oh, you know, I don't want to tell people like that my tummy looks like this, because I've always hidden it. But, you know, you put a nice dress on and people are like, oh God, you know, I'd love to, you know, what size is that? You look amazing. You get all these lovely comments. And I think, God, if I just like flopped out what's actually underneath there, you might not have, it did, it literally flopped out.
Yeah, and I am there with you.
Yeah, it's not nice, is it? I mean, you know, no. It's not nice to have that. But I also, it didn't really necessarily affect my life. I could still wear things that still look nice, but I had like very tight underwear on all the time. So, you know, like the proper
yeah,
Spanx.
You always wore like Spanx, didn't
you? And they're
really,
really quite uncomfortable. But they gave me that the same. I haven't lost any weight. People keep saying to me, "Oh, how much weight have you lost?" I'm like, none. I'm the same. It's just I just had the muscles sewn back together and the bit at the bottom taken off. But there was no weight really, and I'm the same shape. I've just
don't have to wear Spanx.
I don't have to wear Spanx, yeah. So the Spanx used to make me this shape, and then now I'm that shape in my pants, and it's like, oh my God. But it was, I went to go and see him because first of all I thought I'd just go and have a chat with him, and the reason I went to Michael was because 2 of my slimmers have been to him who are local, and I've seen the results, and I've been watching him for quite a while. And I haven't seen any bad reviews about any of his like surgeries, and seeing their results in real life, I was like, wow, you know, the scar was really low. It's very neat. They didn't have any bumps or fun. You know, like sometimes you just see not very great results. And I was like, theirs are both amazing. That's what I want. So I went to go
and
see
having
him.
real people results is so key. Like that's what
Yeah.
made me choose Robert, was because
Yeah.
obviously Faye,
Yeah, cool.
who's another consultant, well, I think she's actually his aesthetics PA as well.
She is, and I
And
only
then
met her after, didn't even know who Faye was until I was going to have my tummy tuck, and someone
oh,
was like,
her
"Talk to Faye."
results are
Oh my god.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I think because then you can speak to them and actually get real life
You want like
experiences.
yeah, real. I want to know what it's like afterwards. I want to know like what the recovery's like, because I heard the swelling's horrendous, and nobody lied to me. They were like, "Yeah, the swell hell is real. Like that's the worst part, really." And the muscle repair hurts. You know, it's not the incision.
Yeah, you had it hard.
The incision doesn't hurt. Like honestly, no pain. You think you've been cut from hip to hip, not one bit of pain from that, because it's completely numb. It's still numb now, and it just doesn't hurt. It's the it's the muscle. I was scared to sneeze. I only sneezed for the first time about 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh my god, and then I was like, oh thank god, thank god I'm 6 weeks post-op, because it wasn't too bad. But yeah, he did. He said I had a 5 centimetre separation, which is quite a lot. So I had no strength.
That's like a fist.
Yeah, and my back used to hurt, and I never used to really understand why. I just thought, I don't know, I just didn't really think
like
about
connect all the dots to see like how it was. But now
I'm just like, I'm straighter. Like I feel like I've got better posture. I can't wait to start exercising. I'm actually really excited. Like I've never been this excited to go to the gym, because before I always felt like I was fighting this weird losing battle, because I was like, my tummy just never goes. Like, I hate it. It's just always going to be. And I had like no strength. I always felt like I had no core strength. I just thought it was really unfair. But he was like, no, once you're healed and these are together, you'll be able to do so much more at the gym. So I'm excited to be able to see like definition and stuff, and actually know that I can work and make it happen. Whereas before I just didn't feel like I could. So yeah, best thing I've ever done. And recovery, I mean, I've saved it all on my page under my highlight, but it wasn't as bad as
you definitely need to watch it if you haven't. And it added, like, it helped me a lot. And I think that is one thing to say, that I think nowadays social media is used for everything, and plastic surgery is no different. There's a huge community of people who blog their journeys through plastic surgery. You know, some take with a pinch of salt, but others, you know, it is a really good way of seeing what they've gone through. And that's why we both blog that, because I'm like, I want someone to be able to, if they're wanting to go through what I'm about to go through, be able to find resource and education as to what to expect with certain things. I'm very fortunate. I don't need any muscle repair, thank the Lord. That was my biggest fear.
That's so good.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's just, I know that it bloody hurts. And I was like,
it's the hardest bit. You're just hunched over.
That's what Robert said.
Yeah, it is painful.
He was like, that is the most painful thing. And liposuction, he said, if you need lipo and muscle repair, that is painful. But like you just said, if it's just skin, like, honestly, it's not comfortable for a few days, a few weeks, but
it won't be bad, I don't think. I think it's going to be a pretty good, hopefully, a really good experience for you, because I mean, coming around from anesthetics, obviously not fun. You do feel a bit ill, and they give you pain relief, and some of the codeine they gave me made me feel really sick and things like that. But actually the recovery in itself, you just have to have a plan. So like the week after, I stayed at my mum's, as you know, and I wasn't around the kids, because I didn't want them to see me in pain. If they'd seen me walking like that, they would have just been really worried, basically. And they're young, they want to jump on me and play, and they wouldn't have been able to. So
that's like Poppy. I'm staying at my dad's for a week after, because obviously I've got she'll be 2 soon. Like, I can't tell a 2-year-old not to jump on me or not to come and give me a hug. And so I'm doing the same. I'm taking a week away from home, having that time just to recover. But yeah, I think I always feel like I need to preface with my skin's particularly bad. Like the doctor said, he was like, your skin has got zero elasticity.
You can see it's just so thin, isn't it? It's just, there's nothing in there.
There is
nothing
there.
Yeah.
But I was a size 24 to 26 and nearly 20 stone for a very long time. And I mean, I've had an overhang for literally as long as I can remember, probably since when I hit puberty. I've always been overweight.
Yeah, so you might have had bad elasticity even when you were bigger. It's just, you know.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's genetics. It's just my skin is not very good. And my mum was the same. My mum had exactly the same type of skin that I've, like, belly and everything that I have. So I never want people... I'm always really conscious. I don't want people to see my weight loss and then be put off this plan because they see my skin.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I am just an unfortunate human being that has got poor skin. You see other people that have lost loads of weight, and they look at Anna. Anna's body is incredible. She lost 8 stone
I
and she looks amazing. So it's not for everyone, but you know, I hopefully can document my whole skin removal. And whilst there's some things that will still be flabby, I am determined to get some abs. That if I can do nothing else, I at least have abs.
Follow like your like, you know, things like this are really good to share. But I was nervous just because of that. For that reason, you don't want to put people off. You don't want people to think that that's going to be them and they're going to have, because that's what Instagram's like. I had so many messages saying, oh, so if I lose weight, have I got to have a tummy tuck? Like really blunt messages. And I was like, I don't know anything about you. Like, let's chat first. Do you know what I mean? So sharing it was a bit scary because I thought there are going to be people, and also I thought people would see it as being really vain. And I was like, it's not that. It's not that, because I probably won't even prance around in a bikini, to be honest. Well,
there's other things that happen with loose skin. Like obviously I go to the gym a lot, and you know, loose skin, you know, it's hard. There's folds, there's rolls, and it's not fat, it's not anything, it is skin. And trying to keep that, you know, like just say as is, keep that dry and clean and not infected in any way is hard going. And it is that is a big mental, but you know, thing to carry to have that when you've lost that weight. And so for me, there is a vain element to it. Of course there is. I want to look good in clothes. I've worked hard to look good in clothes, but there's very much as well a practical element. And like you, I can't wait to be able to go to the gym and not have to wear like the tightest Gymshark leggings I can find, so that it doesn't flap around when I'm trying to run.
And that's the thing, it is medical for you. You know, you are, it's uncomfortable for you in so many ways, isn't it? And it's not really about how you look. It's so much more than that.
I love Georgie.
I know.
I won't repeat it on this because of I want to put it on the podcast.
She's just so good.
But it is true. Like you don't need to worry about what anyone else says, and don't worry about loose skin. Like I always say to you, trust me, it's easier to dress for loose skin than it was to dress for a body that was very large.
Very true.
You know, and that's not to say a very large body can't be dressed lovely, but I certainly couldn't dress lovely in it. I didn't feel comfortable. At least now I can tuck things in. I can put a pair of Spanx on. You know, I wore that dress to convention and I thought I looked pretty darn good in it, loose skin or not.
Absolutely amazing. I was like, whoa. Yeah.
And look at you, like you're literally known for your dresses at convention and how amazing you look. Like, again, you wouldn't have known, but you would never have worn that 3 stone heavier.
No, never. I just didn't wear anything
that's
really
the thing.
Like glam, do you know what I mean? And also colours, like I never used to wear any colours ever. I just didn't really ever experiment with anything, whereas you do once you've lost weight, don't you? You get that confidence. And I feel like, again, with this new confidence after the surgery, I think this summer's again going to be different. I know what I like to wear. I'm not like I'm not really a tight dress type of girl anyway. I like floaty dresses and stuff, but this year I want to wear trousers with my t-shirts tucked in and, you know, like proper tight shirts. Like that's never happened. I'll be showing
like
everyone.
I remember last summer you wore those shorts with the top, you had your top tucked in, and I know that when you took that picture there was an angle involved. 100%. There was like, that's probably 100%. The 50th picture you took.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for you to be able to pop those shorts on, tuck that top in and be like, and again, this is me. I don't even need to think about it.
I don't think I'll look that different with the new tummy, you know. It's just me in myself. Like when I had those shorts on, my tummy was underneath the shorts. You wouldn't have really seen it, even in real life. You may have seen it when I sit down because you can see the roll when you sit down more, whereas that's gone now.
It's the worst when you sit down.
And actually, those shorts wouldn't stay up now, I don't think, because they were kind of sat on top of where my bulge was. So because the top of my tummy's never been big, ever. Even when I look, you know.
You was always really low down.
Small.
That's the difference. Mine's like literally boob to hip, but yours was literally just that bottom bit.
Yeah, and he said that to me. He was like, the top's, you know, there's no loose skin there. So it's just, and he did say, you know, your waist is here and this is so out of proportion. Like it shouldn't be there, basically. It just felt like it was just sticking out, and it was just a big bulge, basically. So it's gone now. But I could wear the same clothes and probably look no different to anyone else, but I'll be like, I know there's no bulge under there, so I don't have to wear tight pants. I don't have, you know, I could wear a thong under there and it wouldn't matter. And that's just like, I've never in my life been able to do that, ever.
I bet Jim doesn't know what's happened. I bet he's like, oh, hello.
I'm not even going to repeat what he says. I won't even talk about that.
Gone on the Bridget Jones. Do you know what Jamie says? He's like, will you ever not wear big knickers again? And I'm like, right.
Oh, the day. Honestly,
maybe one day.
When you don't, he just won't know what's him.
He saw those high-waisted thongs from ASOS. He was like, what's going on?
Jim was like, what are these? Where do these come from? I was like, blame Georgie. He was like, no, thanks, Georgie. Thanks, Georgie.
Oh God, but it's true though. It does just change it. But what I would say as well for loose skin is like even though I have the loose skin and maybe it doesn't look exactly as I would want, even just being smaller, and my loose skin, there is no fat there, it is just skin.
Yeah.
And I still wore those trousers to convention with a body underneath. And you know, you can wear certain things. So I wore a body under those trousers because the body kind of acted like a Spanx and just held it in a little bit. And then I got a trouser that was a bit more of like a dad trouser. Yeah. I think they call them dad suit trousers. So they're a bit puffy around the top. So there's definitely style tips if you don't want to go for cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, there is. You can definitely cover things. I remember saying to you in that suit, I was like, oh my God, Rachel, your ass looks amazing. You're like, oh no, I've got this on and this on. I was like, no, just take the compliment. Your ass looks amazing. You're like, okay, thank you. But you were saying, oh, I've got this on underneath. I was like, no, you look good.
And you shape, you know, you do. And there's there are lots of things that you can do if you don't know where to start with fashion, because it is hard. I have done a live with Kate before, which is probably a good one to go and watch. Definitely need to get her back on to discuss fashion tips.
Love her.
But you went and saw a stylist before, didn't you? Like who helped you with an outfit?
Yeah, like colours and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know with the Simmer Awards, we were gifted like an experience with John Lewis, so you can go to John Lewis and they help. I'm saving mine till after my surgery, so I will vlog that and like show you.
You're going to do that? I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, I'm going to do it after. I just think that I'll probably not know my body even more by then. It'll just be more fun because I can dress a bit more how I want.
Yeah, definitely.
But you can do things like that as well, because I think learning to dress for a body that's lost weight, well, it doesn't feel like your body. It is hard.
It takes a long time.
So things like that can really, really help. I'm just seeing if there's any more questions. Somebody has asked, are you two going to see each other soon? We are. Literally making plans today.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Because I've not seen it in too long.
I know, it feels ages. It has been ages, hasn't it?
It has been. It's like November last time we saw each other.
No.
But we will see each other very soon.
Won't be long.
Oh, Gem, it's been amazing. It's been an hour. Can you believe it?
Oh my God, that has gone quick. Wow.
I know.
Jeez.
We probably talked for more than an hour on voice notes in a day, to be fair.
Oh, thank you for having me, Rach. It's been nice. Lovely. Thank you.
I have loved every minute of it. Obviously, you obviously are following, but if you're not, go and follow Jan. You can see, like she said, all of her tummy tuck highlights are on there, step 2 highlights, lives that she's done with her slimmers, loads of motivational lives over there. You've got loads of fantastic before and afters of slimmers, so you can kind of see loads of different stories, go and find loads of different people to connect with over on her page, and obviously share some love with her because she is just the best. Literally,
you're the best. You're the best.
Oh, but I will save this to my Instagram. The podcast will be up tomorrow, and yeah, any questions, leave them in the comment section of the Instagram post, and me and Jen will go and answer them.
Oh, amazing!
But for now, my love, I will speak to you soon.
Yeah, speak to you soon. Thanks, Rach. Love you. Bye, guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.